There you go.
At a glance, the River Valley District is a snapshot of public schools that work.
1, 2.
Strong programs, devoted teachers, and students with, well, lots of energy.
The people here fit who I am and what I am.
That's why Roger Hoffman has been in this district 29 years.
Whatever it takes to get the job done is what these people, everybody here, they do every day.
Idioms are very similar to puns.
But over the years, people find they have to do more with less. In addition to being middle school principal, Roger is also the district's at-risk coordinator and a boys basketball coach.
No doing it one-handed, it's all two hands. Go.
He has the slight consolation of not being in James Radke's shoes.
I'm an elementary principal at 2 elementary schools, Plain Elementary and Lone Rock Elementary, and I'm also the dean of students at River Valley High School.
Each day, Radke's in and out, racing to and from 3 different schools.
It's frustrating for me. I don't feel like an educational leader. I feel more like a fireman, I guess. I go around and I put out fires.
The last thing he needs is this unexpected headache: deteriorating pipes that leaked and caused the gym floor to buckle.
I fix a problem here, and then I fix a problem there, and then I run to another building and I fix another problem. If I didn't care about kids, obviously, I'd probably be doing something else, but this is where my heart is.
There's less and less assistance, but we realize it's necessary. It's the only way our school can keep going is by cuts.
It's a story you hear more and more often, and not just at River Valley schools.
We are concerned about our public schools in the state of Wisconsin. It's something that we've always taken great pride in. And when we see more and more school districts really on the bubble, or some of them talking about closing and failing, declaring academic bankruptcy, it's alarming.
The heart of the problem is that the way we pay for public schools just doesn't make sense.
It's a failed state funding system that creates the problem.
I would say that it started when we put revenue caps on schools.
Imagine if your income was rigidly fixed well below the cost of living. At first, it would be difficult. Over time, it would be devastating.
Most school districts in the state say, what are we going to cut this year? What can we do without?
So we find ourselves having to go to our general public and ask them to pass referendums to exceed that revenue cap.
3 years ago, River Valley schools were caught up in a very emotional, divisive referendum.
We pay a fairly significant property tax. It's a matter of concern to me, particularly given the fact that I'm retired now and I'm essentially living on Social Security.
But as a product of public schools himself, Alan Green believes in them.
We ought to pay our dues. I figure that one generation owes another generation.
Thanks to community members like Alan, the referendum passed, but just barely.
The contentious nature of those debates have neighbor against neighbor.
And the exhausting process gave the district just enough money to hold steady, no extras. They get by with creativity and a stubborn determination.
One of our district goals has been find a way to make it happen.
For instance, since there's no money to add space at the high school, at-risk classes are held in this double-wide trailer parked a few blocks away.
Now move that over and then hit that button. And
With resources in demand, teachers have to line up for the best tools.
We actually have one smart board that rotates around our school as people need it.
It helps me get into it more. I mean, I probably wouldn't memorize as much if I didn't do it every day.
I try to keep it quiet so I can keep it. That doesn't seem to be working anymore.
And when basic technology doesn't work, they make do.
There are times in this building where the students are unable to access an accelerated reader program.
we just sit there and wait until it comes up. It gets really annoying.
Even when staffing can't keep pace with demand, which is happening in alternative ed, as Hoffman says, they find a way.
I try to do all 3 grade levels, covering all the core classes.
It's like making me a stronger reader.
It makes me feel a little bit more confident.
If we can reach them younger and make them independent learners, Isn't that what we want? That's success.
1, 2, fruits, go.
But how long can success continue?
We've done that because that's what we've been forced to do. And yet, where will that stop? I don't know. Maybe the next program that somebody proposes will be the one that we say, can't do it.
We don't have a rabbit to pull out of the hat that has its pockets full of money.
Most districts are cutting into core educational programming at this point.
If the referendum would have failed, River Valley planned to close one of its 4 elementary schools and cut athletics. Skeptics called it a bluff. Benson says it was not.
How do you justify closing down regular classroom instructional programs, but you're going to go to the ball game on Friday night? How do you justify that?
Benson does not relish the thought of another referendum, but they're facing one again in a couple years.
It's always looming.
The way things exist now, there's nothing else that the schools can do.
It's a good time to be talking about it.
Because there's time to turn things around, which is why 9 different organizations, teachers, administrators, parents, and community members are now standing together as the School Finance Network, rallying for a new funding formula.
We know that some children cost more to educate. New models of school finance look more at individual student need. This will reimburse school districts as they serve those students' needs. It's a different formula for a revenue cap. We don't want to fund this just on the backs of property taxpayers.
Today is a good day to invest in our kids. There's no better day than today.
It will not be an easy battle, but when you care about kids, there's no other choice.
Come on, buddy.
I'm eternally hopeful.
It's an intergenerational promise. Our parents and our grandparents and our great-grandparents built a strong educational system for this state. And we want to make sure that that continues into the future.
We owe the younger generation that. I'll do whatever I can to make this thing work.
I'm a great believer in American democracy. I believe strongly that we're going to do the right thing for our kids. We're going to find a way to do the right thing.
To learn more about the School Finance Network plan, just click on the screen right now.